Your use of effective words and language, choosing language well, choosing words well, will be considerably enhanced by how you use your voice. Effective voice or vocalics is a function of three things: rate, pitch, and volume. What do we mean by that? Rate is just whether you talk really, really fast or really, really slow. Pitch is about the highness of your voice or the lowness of your voice. Volume is about talking loudly enough, not too soft, not too loud. So what are the do's and the don'ts with this particular competency related to your voice? What you do want to do is talk in a conversational tone, a conversational style, as if you were talking right to someone, but you want to do it loud enough. You want to use a public voice as opposed to a private voice. This isn't an interpersonal conversation. It's you talking to people in the back row. What is the big then don't, Janice? What is our big don't for this particular competency? One thing you don't want to do is talk too fast. That's probably one of the biggest shortcomings of delivery. People tend to move very, very quickly, and the audience just can't follow what's going on. Another thing you don't, if you don't mind, one more don't use a monotone voice. Monotone vocalics, a monotone voice, puts the listeners to sleep. Think, if you will, just about some speech or lecture that you have sat through that seems to just drone on and on and on. Use your voice to grab the audience attention and bring them back to listening to you.
I can certainly recall a number of speakers that I have heard who had a monotone voice, and I really became disengaged quite quickly. So it is very important that you use that conversational voice. It really is a conversation with one person at a time, maybe 20 times if there are 20 people in your audience. So really consider that you are talking to just one person and talking to that person as you would if they were sitting there. A monotone voice is really going to be ineffective, and you're going to lose your audience. What does a monotone voice sound like? Sometimes you will hear this when speakers have written out way too much of their material and they are reading from a script or reading from their outline. A reading voice is not a conversational voice. Not only does it not sound conversational, but if you're reading, you're looking down, and that shortens how your pitch comes across to your audience. What does that sound like? Let's listen.
Complete and total darkness. The only sound you hear is that of your heart beating. You cannot see anything, but you can feel thousands of eyes staring at you through the darkness. Your palms sweating, your entire body shaking from a mixture of nerves and excitement. A bead of sweat rolls down the side of your face. Then, lights. And you begin to play. This is the experience almost every musician has to go through. My name is Connor Kelleher, and I was recently given the opportunity to experience this sensation when I filled in for the lead guitarist of an up-and-coming band in the California State Fair.
Closely linked to and involved with vocal variety is the next competency that's about your voice, but it's about speaking correctly. What does that mean you want to do? You want to pronounce words clearly. You want to articulate sounds well. You want to use correct grammar. Why would that be? Incorrect grammar, of course, is going to call into question your very credibility. A big do is concentrating on that kind of correctness. A big don't in regard to this particular competency is thinking about what you're saying and getting excited about it and failing to speak very correctly. Janice, think about when somebody leaves a message on your cell phone and you go, what? What did they say? Who was it? What was that phone number? You have to listen to it 2 or 3 times. Just put that in your mind and say, that's not what I want to do with regard to this particular competency.
So when I'm thinking about a speech I'm giving, whether it's about social media identity or e-portfolios or anything else, what I really need to consider is to talk, that's why these competencies are linked, to talk slowly enough, not too fast, so that I really have time to articulate what I'm saying, that I'm not mumbling my words. I also want to recognize that I need to use correct grammar because it is important. We tend to throw slang words in there or words like stuff and you guys, which we've already talked about in Competency 5. Try to use those precise terms so that you have enunciated and articulated all of your words appropriately so your audience can understand what you are saying. If you're talking too fast, chances are that your words will run together and they may have a little trouble understanding what you're saying. Putting these 2 competencies together is important, as all the competencies are, to really keep your audience focused and engaged because you have interesting information to tell them, and it's important that you use your voice to keep them interested in what you're saying. That's going to lead us to the next competency, our final competency number 8, which are all of those other physical characteristics that go with delivering a really effective presentation.